Now, son, I said, son, you got yourself a haunted Nintendo cartridge, son. How are you supposed to stand up now? Stand up when I'm talking to you. Now, how are you supposed to play a Nintendo game when you got this Ben kid screwing around with your Majora's Mask and what have you? I says, son, if you're listening to me, son, you gotta change this Nintendo cartridge. You can't be playing Zelda with a haunted ghost in the cartridge, son. I do enjoy me a Foghorn Leghorn. Just a bit. I'm seeing those posts lately, and my favorite I've talked before about, like, you know, how people will do quote unquote like adult humor from time to time in ways I don't like it, but my favorite version is when they like more so extrapolate it out into new, either more absurd situations. So seeing everyone put Foghorn Leghorn very accurately into different animes makes me very happy. Spooky. Gwe. Oh, I should start doing Gwe. You've changed to Gwe everywhere. We love to see it. Hey, what was I thinking of? Gwe. So, speaking of animes, I've seen via the internet with osmosis. I've seen like 2 screenshots from Madoka Magica, and I've been like, just wildly scared, incredibly frightened. I feel like I had a hint of it, but I got like I saw like 2 scenes, and I was just like, okay, so it's like maybe I'll watch it when I'm in the mood for horror, specifically. So hi, Greg. But we do love it here. Heck, I mean, fucking, like, don't let no one get it confused. That is not me, not me disparaging Miss Madoka. I'm gonna be putting Eldritch Horrors in this cutesy little art book I'm putting together. So like, any cartoon that goes the scary route, I cannot be too upset with. What a very good Oki emote, Greg. Very good. Also, honestly, that's maybe that is a reason for me to watch it. Because, I mean, obviously anime has always gone to more adult routes than American cartoons, but like I've said many times before, Super Eye Patch Wolf once pointed out how little animated horror there is. And I mean, if I watch Madoka and I'm like, yeah, no, that's horror, then that's another to the list. Right now, my top is Courage the Cowardly Dog. And I feel like any people who have thoroughly watched that show are like, no, that's accurate. Correct. Oh, we'll see. Is it Mr. Meat is a horror? The fact that the name has meaty in it, Greg, already makes me want to not watch it. Yeah. What was I thinking of? I don't know. It's kind of hard for... I feel like that's an interesting thing to bring up, honestly. Like the kind of media I look for in represented by One Piece. One Piece. No. Well, transition, because like I genuinely think that like Pirates of the Caribbean and One Piece helps do that for me. It's like that's representing my... Was it Earth Day today? I remember seeing that, but I thought that was yesterday. It was yesterday. Okay. I don't feel like celebrating Earth, but but that's what I was gonna say. It's like I don't necessarily look for pure escapism, but I do like adventure. You know, I'm far less slice of lifey. I feel like in part. Hello, LV. Lots of folks out tonight that aren't always out. I appreciate it. I hope y'all are doing well. But like, I just like when it's like we're going off to do something, and maybe it's not going to be fun necessarily. Maybe it's not going to be happy-go-lucky, but we're not just going to sit here. We're going to go off and we're going to do it. You know? Oh heck yeah! Oh, I did see that. Join Gwez's Discord if you need dilfs in your life. It's the best source I can think of. But yeah, I really feel like now that I'm thinking about this, thanks to Dear Square, that really is kind of my biggest determining factor in if I'm like okay to watch a piece of media at any given time. It's like when I'm having a mentally stable day, I can kind of watch anything, and that might fucking change my day depending on what we're watching, but I will be able to. But if I know something bad is coming while having had a bad day, then I'm like, oh no. But in kind of like a general sense, what I'm more into is I don't like it when a piece of media is just like stew in this. We've made a problem. Now sit in it for a while. I'm just like, no. Well, let's keep it go. Let's keep it up. Let's keep it going. No, it's my favorite. Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, right? I'm not necessarily saying, like, I do typically look for less depressing media. That's my like preference though. But like I like Berserk and fucking I feel like part of why I like Berserk is because even though it's maybe one of the most fucked up things ever, it's still got a good pace. Things are happening. They're going places. You know? Like, yeah, there's a lot of torture dungeons, but typically they never just sit there. Oh yeah. Well, like, that's what I'm interested in, honestly. Like, so often, like, I know I'll make fun of pieces of media on here because entertainment, but more often than not, like, everything is good for some reason, and if we can agree that, you know, quite a few times certain things aren't executed well, then it's just like, but there was something good here, so how about we try this kind of concept out again, and change it up to make it a bit tastier. Although that sounds like a pretty big project, LV. You know, I would say don't stress out too much about it doing something like that in one day. Make sure you take your time, do it safely, what have you. But yeah, no. Fucking Spider-Verse, like, what was I thinking of? In that case, LV, I believe in you. Listen to my voice as you do it and hear my believe. Use that Super Saiyan. You might be like, I'm not a Saiyan, Cahill, but guess what? We've all got a bit of Super Saiyan in us. That's why Dragon Ball fucks so hard. That's why everyone misses Akira Toriyama, because he made the manga that might fuck the hardest. Anyway. Was I just thinking of? Oh yeah, I was gonna say the biggest evidence um, that anything can work is Spider-Verse, which is now one of the greatest movies of all time. The original comic of Spider-Verse is so dumb. It's fun, it's fun, and I like it, and it gave us Gwen, and I love Gwen. Gwen is amazing. We all adore Gwen. I mean, technically, Gwen was in the 60s, but she died really quickly compared to the rest of Spider-Man's run, and like, we only knew her for a little bit, so then you brought her back as a new character. It was great. But the comic's dumb, and they made it to one of the greatest movies of all time. So it's just kind of a matter of learning and executing properly, which is why, you know, so many movies might turn out bad, because capitalism makes things hard to execute properly. That's why I'm doing this book. Fuck it, I said I was inspired by Super Eye Patch Wolf being like, fake video games are great, and one reason they're great is because it can be hard to make such a big project, but if you scale it down into kind of the secondary media required for said project slash just kind of concept pieces, then you're able to have your audience piece those things together without necessarily needing to sacrifice the time or risk the butchering of said property. You can just do it by yourself, and it can still be good. So. But, yeah, so. Here is hoping that, I don't know, I'm able to make a good piece of art. I'm actually, spoiler alert, if this becomes a whole thing, I'd like it to be like 120 pages. So 120 good pieces of art, if you don't mind. If it's not too much to ask, you know? I wonder what is the average age of an artist who you can ask, give me 120 of your best pieces, and they can seriously answer and give you 120 works they're at least somewhat happy with, if not entirely happy with. It's probably pretty old. If I know anything about art, and I know a few things about art, the average age of artist who is able to give you 120 pieces of art they're proud of might be in their 70s. Heck yeah. You know, Spooky, if I can give you one word of advice, if it's okay, I would like to say, always, like, be okay kind of compromising a little bit. Because even just doing one page of a full comic or manga can be real hard. I've learned that. And now I'm doing comic strips instead, because 4-panel comic strips are infinitely easier. So, you know. Always feel free to be like, this format works best for me. I think it looks good. This is what I'm happy with. So, I get you. But hey, I mean, if this is also encouraging, sometimes I think people are too, like, nitpicky about what's quote-unquote in character in different pieces of media. Because, like, granted, yes, there is, like, this is something a character would definitely do, or this is something a character would never do, yada, back and forth forever. But people are complicated, and sometimes they do contradicting things. So, you know, it's like sometimes it's just like, you know what, I've decided today he'll do something else. As long as they're not flipping a switch every other hour, it's fine. I would love to see someone's life adapted into a manga, and like people start pointing out bad writing, quote unquote. Because it's like, well, in chapter 2 he said he would never like broccoli ever in his life, and in chapter 316 we see him eating broccoli. So what the fuck is that about? Juice, great question. I wanted to say Fushimoto. That's Chainsaw Man. Who writes Naruto? Because I was gonna say we're talking about bad writing in comics. Oh, that's a mood. Fully mood. But Kishimoto, that that bitch ass. When I get him. Listen, he deserves credit, but also, you know, you can all. I mean, I was going to say, like, did he do any other work we can look at to see, like, what his writing might be like when he's allowed a bit more freedom? And then someone might be like, well, he's doing Baruto. And it's like, Baruto doesn't count, and you fucking know it. Sequel series never count. If you rock up to someone mourning the loss of Akira Toriyama and you even mention Dragon Ball Super, I will drop kick you through a window off the 11th story of a building. He didn't want to do Dragon Ball Super. The paychecks wanted to do Dragon Ball Super. And there were still some highlights. So shut up. He wanted to do Sandland. Go get that when it's adapted into a video game. Oh. Change the premise. Yeah, well. That's why it's like, I'm excited for more Japanese media. I'm excited for, not Toriyama. Damn it. I'm being bad with names. Kojima. Kojima's like, I'm doing an action stealth game again. You know, like the one I did that everyone loves. And the reason I'm saying that is because I like Death Stranding, but it is not at all based in reality, even a little bit. Don't even pretend like it is, right? And part of what I liked about Metal Gear was that it was somewhat based in reality. In part because Kojima had bosses at the time, and they weren't letting him do his things he thought up while he was on PCP. So, if his new action stealth game is like more based in a realistic, maybe even historical setting, then I'll be very happy to see it. Just because it's like, put the restraints on Kojima just a little bit, you know? It's like, clearly Kishimoto needed a bit of restraint from his editors. It's like, Kojima, I don't even necessarily don't like you unrestrained, Kojima Unchained, but maybe we do another thing that isn't as buck fucking wild as Death Stranding 1. Okay, Juice, yes, but you're forgetting, like, the rest of the scene. Like, that's the first half of the scene, right? And it's just like, you know what? That is pretty realistic. You lose a baby in childbirth, you are probably gonna be depressed, right? Sure, I get it. But then she's breastfeeding the ghost baby. And she continues to do that for, like, 2 more scenes she's in. And that's what I'm saying. An editor would have gone up to Kojima and been like, no, cut it. Stop it at that first scene. We're not doing the rest of it. What was the thing, you know? Okay, so we have Kojima, right? Allow me to introduce y'all to Amijak, which is Kojima backwards. And this is the most boring fucking person you've ever met in your entire life, right? He doesn't have a lot of power at Kojima Industries, but he has enough that every now and then, when Kojima gets too wild, he can rein him in. This is my new proposal for a genetics program. We breed the most just boring people. Hello, I'm part of Umbrella Corporation. I know that's not from a Kojima game, but you know. I have fired the horse wrangler. I didn't know he could do that. Lord. I'm just gonna say it with my chest on stream, because I've said it many times before. It's like, I know every other country in the world has problems, but I'm sick of American problems. Lately, I'm really just like, you know what? Maybe we move to Canada. Maybe I have enough friends in Canada that actually I should just move to Canada. I have enough friends in Canada in a close enough vicinity to each other that I can move in between them. And then if I ever need to go see someone in person, I go see them. Juice, do you want to move to Canada? It's a fun... I'm not going to say who. I think they've gone on record. Look at me backtrack at that. They've gone on record being like, yeah, I moved to Canada, blah, 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 blah. But, I realized, like, I know someone not only who actively lives in Canada, but actively knows the process of getting Canadian citizenship. And I'd be like, you know what? Honestly, Juice, if you're ever serious about that, hit me up. We'll be Canadians in a week. That being said, it's probably going to take me a minute with Canadian history. Because with every country that has a prime minister, it like the word prime minister slips out of my mind. President holds so much power. Prime minister is so fucking boring. They're gonna be like, who was our first prime minister? And it's like, no one cares. What a boring thing you've just asked me. Who cares about prime ministers? They're nerds. Do you know who Teddy Roosevelt is? People said he would have fist fought the Grim Reaper had he not died in his sleep. He wore a cool hat and fought on horseback. And for that, we called him president. Even if he was Canadian, ain't no way you'd be catching him with the goofy ass title prime minister. Get out of here! Get out of here! I don't know why. Was the position of prime minister around before president or vice versa? I actually feel like president was first. I don't know if prime ministers are usually connected to a parliament. I imagine. Does Canada have a parliament? I mean, they don't have a queen. Canada parliament. They do have a parliament. It occurs to me I don't know what a parliament is. Were presidents invented before prime ministers? Quickly, Google. Use your government title. History. Okay. What about Prime Minister title? Sure. Government title. Prime Minister. Okay. History. Had minister. These ministers, the power of these ministers depended. Blah blah blah. Development. In the 17th century, Parliament strengthened its government. Blah blah blah. Tipping point. Oh wow, they're really close to each other. Okay, this is pretty interesting. Because, like, president as a government thing, from what I saw on Wikipedia, seemed to legitimately originate around the time of the American Revolution. And prime minister seemed to do the same. When England was like, we're getting real sick of your king shit right now. It's not king shit. I'll tell you that much. I don't like how you raised taxes and also killed my wife. Yeah, I didn't forget that. When you looked at one of your friends in your fancy carriage, and you say you want to see something funny, watch this, and then you ordered them to kill my wife. And everyone had to be cool with it. Because you're the king. And you have god powers or whatever. Ugh. The thing, you know, I don't. It's kind of a shame. Because recently with the show that's come out and everyone liking it, and some of my friends being like, I like Fallout. I've been like, ooh, Fallout. Maybe I check out one or two things with that. I don't really think I'm going to get that deep because Bethesda, but with that in mind, I was thinking about getting New Vegas as a standalone game because one, it doesn't have a number in the title. Yes, I know, but it bothers me. But two, I just heard how good it is. But like fucking, I spent all my game money on GameCube games. We have 5 GameCube games now. Any money I had saved for games, any extra money I got for dog sitting, that went to those. And then the rest is getting saved. So, I'm not gonna just be wildly irresponsible and be like, no, I need Fallout now. Yeah, but I want to get it for Xbox, Juice. And you're gonna be like, Cahill, why do you want it for Xbox? It's on Steam. And I'll be like, cause Juice, I have an Xbox 360 and I only have a few games for it despite how long I've had it. You're gonna be like, Cahill, that's a wildly stupid reason to go looking for that game. And then I'll be like, but Juice, I still want to do it because I like collecting physical media. And you'll be like, but Cahill, you don't need physical media, you need to save money. And I'll be like, but Juice, collecting physical media and preserving it for future generations is an important endeavor. And be like, Cahill, that's a philosophical argument when we're talking about the practical argument right now. Where I'm telling you that you could save money and have the experience you want if you just get it on Steam. Be like, but Juice, that's still money I'm spending on the game when I should be saving. So really the principle is the same, that I'm not going to spend that money until I'm able to. And when I'm able to is when I decide I want it on Xbox. You and this physical media, okay? It comes before the fall. No, that disc even still works. It won't in a MacBook. I'll tell Golden you that right now. It's be like, I got a PC disc. It still works. And it's like, yeah, but you don't have a port for it. You stupid bastard. The problem wasn't that the disc doesn't work. The problem is you don't have a fucking disk drive. This is why mother left for milk ages ago. That's a skill issue. It really is. You're right, Gold. I should have gotten my fucking degree in gaming. I should have gone to gaming university. Or instead of a MacBook, they're like, you get yourself a top of the line PC, custom built. And then just like get ready to learn how to game, gamers. You're so right, Gold. I should have done that. This is why I'm not moving to Australia. I mean, fucking. He's slacking, so it's okay. What was I thinking of? Maybe I should talk to Zayd about like game devs and stuff. Like, not necessarily being like, make this for me. But I don't know. I like working on stuff with friends, and I'm making this as a fake game manual, but I do have a real kind of game concept around Fossil Boy. So if Zayd ever wants to talk game design, I'd be like, I have a thing. Please look at my macaroni art. I've spent way too much time on this fucking boot flare. Sometimes you need your boots on point. These boots were made for walking on the skulls of our enemies. This is Hollow Knight juice. I think this is Grim Troop. It's something from the Grim. Nightmare King. That's a good song. That's why I have it on my soundtrack. I do in fact like Grim and his whole circus thing in the DLC stuff. I'm not the biggest Hollow Knight fan, but man, that indie direct a while ago. Not only did I forget that apparently Microsoft is handling as like the parent behind Team Cherry and Silksong at the moment, but furthermore, I was like, the more you holler like this is the one, the less it'll be the one. You know what, like, most people weren't saying in the Nintendo Direct before they announced the 1,000 Year Door remake? They weren't saying, there's going to be a 1,000 Year Door remake. Game announcements love to surprise people. And I'm not saying that's a purposeful reason as to why they haven't announced anything with Silksong in 5 years. But what I am saying is that by a cruel twist of fate, it's only when you least expect it that it will come. Can't come while you're looking, so stop it. It's not soon. I mean, fucking, it's sooner than Metroid 4. Metroid Prime 4. Technically, we already have Metroid 4. Because it hasn't restarted development like 5 times, apparently. I think Metroid Prime 4 fans are the only people doing worse than Silksong fans. ATM. Sorry for you guys. I fucking love... You know what I love? Chat, if you don't know this, my favorite game on the face of planet Earth is Waypoint Studios' Epic Mickey for the Nintendo Wii, released in 2010. And I accept it in my heart of hearts. I would never get any more to do with that game ever again forever. And before Silksong came out, before Metroid Prime 4 came out, before all of that, before all the games people did one, I got my game. I got a remake of my favorite game coming to modern consoles, and it's being handled by people who have done a faithful remake of another mascot platformer that was well received. So I'm doing pretty damn well. Juice, we're not actually gonna compare Hollow Knight um, and Epic Mickey because people will get mad at me. I guarantee you, people will come to me and people will dox me so fast. I'll say one thing and my address will be in chat. The argument isn't that that Hollow Knight is more popular than Epic Mickey. That's a fact. I'm not gonna deny reality. But we are getting more Epic Mickey before we're getting more Hollow Knight, and that's also a fact that Hollow Knight fans can't dispute. So, you know, you win some, you lose some. But I'm really looking forward to it. I'll say this much. And granted, Epic Mickey is an easy game made for babies. Say that on stream to their face. I'm sorry. I keep forgetting the particular things Gold is a fan of. And making jokes about, mean jokes about them on stream. Gold, I'm sorry. If you can ever find it in yourself to forgive me, I will make an effort to make sure not to do it again on stream. But yeah, I was gonna say, fucking, I guarantee you the Epic Mickey remake isn't gonna have a Path of Pain. So, whether or not you think that's a good thing is up to you, but I guarantee you I'll be breaking my controller less over it. I'm pretty sure I looked up the true ending to Hollow Knight. Or something along those lines. I remember there was a walkthrough or two I used to get to those secret areas. Path of Pain is fun. Juice, your opinion is not counted in this survey. You are a known masochist. This would this would be wild. You'd be a wild outlier. Just beat it. See, gold I'll take. Gold is still clearly biased, but in a different way that we will count their opinion. Juice will just want pain regardless. And as such, their opinion should not be counted. Juice would not be on the jury. I'm sorry to say. Man, I was gonna talk about law stuff, but we don't want to steer the stream's direction in that, so. I was gonna talk about Phoenix Wright. You know, it's weird, because, like, I don't know if Phoenix Wright is getting any more games, but, like, Phoenix Wright has a lot of games. Well, didn't they get one Phoenix Wright got a game not too long ago. And granted, it wasn't Phoenix Wright, but, you know, it was an Ace Attorney game, so at least fans of the franchise are just like, ooh, at the least, it's something new at least. But, also, dang it, what was I thinking of? But it's weird to think we're getting, like, more Professor Layton even before that, you know? You know, that's something I've never looked into, because I've never necessarily been, fully interested in myself. But I do know the Ace Attorney games are just like, it's not Phoenix anymore. Different people. And I mean, I don't know if any of those games are starring Edgeworth, but if they're not, then what's even the fucking point? If I can't star in a game as one of two boyfriends with a funny little psychic girl following me around, Fucking, I would love that. I don't know if that game exists. It might already exist. But if there's not a Phoenix Wright, an Ace Attorney game, starring where you play as Edgeworth, but Maya is still following you, then there needs to be. There needs to be, and I'll go to Capcom and I'll shake them until they make it. That sounds hilarious. Drink water, folks. It's good for you. I don't even know if I've seen all of one Ace Attorney before. I've definitely watched people play them once or twice. But I do know that in the second one, they fucking make it seem like Edgeworth has died for some reason. They're like, this is the twist we're gonna go for. And obviously he's not, but I'd love to know why they decided on that. Why after the first successful one, they're like, okay, this next one, make everyone think that Edgeworth has died. We do our damnedest to make them think he is dead. We can't have them keep shipping Phoenix and Edgeworth. So we're gonna make them think Edgeworth has died. See, that's funny because that shows they don't know how the internet works. Because a dead character won't stop people from shipping them with another person. If anything, it'll make people do it more. So, if I had a nickel for every pairing people make out of fictional media and one of them has died in canon, I'd have many nickels. I'd have enough to buy at least one of those properties and continue on with it in my own fashion to make the pairing canon so it hurts more. I just thought of one that is legitimately applicable to recent games. I'm not gonna say it because it might be one everyone already knows, but no spoils. I was gonna talk about more, but it's like, can I, even though it might be one everyone already knows, can I stand by my thing of no spoils if I have to spoil it to ask, does everyone already, is with this piece of media now out, does everyone already know it and we don't have to worry about it anymore? That being said, is it ever really, you know, a good idea to spoil something for someone? Would y'all not want to watch someone hear that Darth Vader is Luke's father for the first time, having no idea that that's the case going into the Star Wars franchise? And fucking, no matter what happens, those first 3 movies are good. So, seeing those just by themselves and learning that for the first time, and getting to see someone react to that for the first time, would be priceless. You really want to risk losing that just because you have to make a joke for the 50th time? I've never thought about that, but at no point, there's a lot of shows that like to parody shit and then use a spoilered part of the movie or what have you as a punchline, and it's just like, it occurs to me now, I've never once in my life thought of doing that. Never once have I been like, I need to make jokes about this movie specifically, and one of the jokes will be a spoiler to the movie for those who haven't seen it. Wild. I'm coming for you, The Simpsons. I think I actually haven't watched enough of The Simpsons to know how much or if they've done that. Or if they've been like, yeah, we love spoiling Star Wars. I think The Simpsons is just a big popular, you know, comedy adult cartoon. So I assume they've, you know, spoiled Star Wars. Once or twice. Man. I can't. I really like. I know people are annoyed how much One Piece fans want other people to watch One Piece. But first off, you should watch One Piece. And second off, I can't get over the fact that one of the reasons you should probably be well, I say read, because I think the manga is better. But I can't get over the fact that one of the reasons you should be reading One Piece, if you haven't, is because we don't fucking know what the One Piece is. Do you know how insane that is? Could you imagine that if fucking, like, trying to think of something. I always go for Lord of the Rings. I don't want to go for Lord of the Rings right now. I mean, I like, it's so hard to say, because, like, what other thing is there where it's, like, it's a media franchise about an object, but for 20 years of publication, you don't know what the object is. That is a wild thing to have, and it's been the case for One Piece for 20 plus years, and it won't at some point in our lifetimes. That won't continue to be the case. And it's really good, so you should probably just go watch One Piece. And you're like, I don't care what the One Piece is. But then at one point, because, like, I don't know, a nuclear war will happen and you'll need something to do in your bunker, you'll be like, I guess I'll read One Piece now. And then you're going to be upset because it's really good, but you already know what the One Piece is. Because you were spoiled about it before the nuclear war. The nuclear war was caused by people spoiling what the One Piece was. Duh. And if we had all both been more respectful about spoilers and also not spoiled the One Piece, and also all been reading One Piece, we would have understood the consequences to our action. But we were foolish. We had the hubris of man. We had the first sin in us. Man, can you imagine if you die and fucking an angel comes up to you and they're like, actually it was Adam and Steve. Just two dudes at the start of it. I don't know, like, it's so weird. It came full circle. For the longest time, people just assumed guy and girl. And then people, like, in a weird twist of fate, started saying the right thing. But for the wrong reason. So, yeah, fun fact. You can meet them. You're dead now. They're dead. Go have fun. They run a coffee shop downtown. That's right. My next art project is Bible Coffee Shop AU. You know what? Maybe I need to stop talking forever. Lord, could you imagine, first off, at the rate people die at the minimum, if there was a surprise twist about Adam and Eve, one, that they were real, and two, that there was a surprise twist no one knew about, their schedule would be full pretty often. Would be cute. Juice, shut up. Juice, go away. Juice, I demand if you write it be under a new username, and you never mention me ever. We can't do this. I've been called out for talking about theology too much before. We can't make a coffee shop at you. Moreover, Juice, I would like to be remembered for my creative endeavors in a positive light, and because of their originality. So I don't want the thing people remember me as is the guy who wrote the coffee shop. You. Oh my goodness. You know what I was thinking about earlier today, legitimately? I was thinking about how my parents went bankrupt, lost all their money, and then they sold me off to One Direction. That I've never seen the source of that. And yet I still know it pretty well. Like I recognize it enough that I can quote it. So truly wild. It's also truly wild that someone wrote about being sold off to a British boy band. British people don't do that anymore, as far as I'm aware. I'd like to continue to believe that, but I've never been to England, so I can only do it on hearsay. You got it, Soph. Let's get you a parrot. There are no boys or bands in British anymore, so they can't be buying people. They don't even exist. Silly Cahill. Slavery can't exist if boy bands aren't around. Checkmate. Man, no one was very happy when Backstreet was back. For reasons that truly boggle the mind. Yeah. I mean, fucking Badoo is one reason we have parrots. Even though my Nuzlocke ended very badly, and I'm probably never ever going to do a Nuzlocke ever again. We'll play through Pokemon. I'm not doing a Nuzlocke again, almost certainly. Seeing Badoo's 3D model brought me so much joy. Really can't be understated. You know, of all things I've had doubts about when it comes to streaming and what have you, cutting off that Pokemon series after I got team wiped is not something I have doubts about. I gave it an honest try, and yes, technically by Nuzlocke rules, fucking I could have kept going, but A, no one wants to see me grind Pokemon up to a proper level, and B, fucking I got team wiped. Let me die in peace. I am always having I am so often looking to be alone. Literally just let me die in peace. Let me die at the hands of a buff small child. I don't know why this is so hard to ask for. I don't know. Maybe this is the problem, right? And this is what I was saying. I didn't do this, and I lost last time. So if I went back and I did a Nuzlocke, you know what I would do? We would do the first stream. I'd have at least one Pokemon left, because fingers crossed I'm not getting team wiped in the first, 3 to 4 hour stream if I'm doing a long one. Right? And then I'd be like, hey, remember how I got team wiped? I'm going to go spend 3 hours off camera grinding levels in Pokemon. And you want to know something? It's not going to be interesting when I come back. It's not going to be interesting when I do it. That is why I have aversions to Nuzlocke normally. And if anything, the fucking one I did reinforced that dominant strategy in my head. And I don't want to go back and do one to do that dominant strategy. Because it's boring. There's a million other challenge runs I'd rather do than Nuzlocke. I could still beat Dark Souls 1 and 3 with the broken sword. I could do a lot of shit in Dark Souls that I haven't done. We could go back and do Scorch Contract. Does anyone remember that? I remember when I fucked up doing a mod. I legitimately have more fun with that than Nuzlocke. I'm sorry. It ain't for me. Do a barrel roll in Dark Souls. Absolutely. For you, Stealth, anything.
You mean it?
Yeah. See, Stealth, here's the thing, right? I feel like, since part of what I love about Pokemon is having the boys together, I'd be okay doing challenge runs that aren't just like your Pokemon fates, it's dies, it's done, right? Anything but that is fine with me. So I'm not going, no Nuzlocke, no more Nuzlocks, never again. I gave it a try, and I don't like it, and I knew I wouldn't like it, and I still don't like it, so. Have you ever done a Nuzlocke, Stealth?
Several.
Have you beaten them?
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Only rock type challenge run. You want to know the one? Okay. I mean, I've been thinking about, like, I want to play Paper Mario, but it keeps getting pushed back. The other thing I want to, like, one I thought of a while ago was beating, like, Gold and Silver, but only using a Butterfree. And I would love to do that. And then, like, honestly, yeah. Would you not love to see my Butterfree only run? Stealth, getting up to Red, beating Red with just a Butterfree? I imagine if I spec into speed with Butterfree, and we got the Sleep Powder Dream Eater combo, right? A level 100 Butterfree would probably be able to beat Red's team on a good run, right? Because it could probably take one hit, one, and it would, and most of the other time it would be regaining health and outspeeding the competition, so that's my thing. Hey, Stealth, let me ask you something. This is applicable to something I was talking about earlier. Do you know the plot of Final Fantasy VII or no?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Did you play the original? Or you just didn't play? Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Granted, it's been a while, and I'm actually replaying it now.
Yes. I think, not to be rude, but like, because I'm not a remake hater, but I'm still like, no, I probably like the original better. But that's just also because it's a completely different game. So, I remember iPatchWolf did a video on Final Fantasy VII as well, and he made a argument in favor of the original graphics, and it's like, I get it and I don't mind them, but if they made like an HD remake of the original Final Fantasy VII, like with just like, you know, cutesy models as opposed to like what they're doing with the actual remake, I would not be upset. I would get it, actually. So I'm going to look up what Jutes told me, because now I have to know what is Iron Mon Run. Rules. All Pokemon movesets and items are randomized, with trainer Pokemon and wild lovers increased by 50%. I'd be okay with something like that, like just generally bringing up the level of challenge in a Pokemon game. But I don't know if I'm just like, yeah, Timmy gets an Arceus. Like, I'd still like it to be somewhat like a Pokemon game.
Why can't Timmy have an Arceus?
Because it's not lore friendly. Did Timmy earn Arceus? Did he get the Japanese only fucking event quest item?
Yeah, he went all the way to Toys R Us.
Damn it. Okay, well, maybe Timmy gets an Arceus. I can't deny him that.
Which was very hard for him to do on the bike.
Hey, Stealth, I'm still mad about our Legends Arceus, plot-wise, just forever. Forever. I'll never stop being, I'm never going to stop being angry. I've gotta be honest with you. Why does it have to be time travel? The answer is it fucking doesn't. I just want to see old Pokemon, and you've taken that from me.
Also, the Hisuian Pokemon are mostly mess, in my opinion. Mostly mess.
I like Cleavor. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, that's like one.
Yeah, that one was pretty good.
Yeah, like the idea of like with Scizor being this sleek bug, made of steel, Cleavor being like a primal version made of rock is like really good. I can't really think of any that are a particular miss for me, except for fucking Ursaring, which is no.
Yeah, they did do that, didn't they?
He looks more like a porcupine than a bear. So.
He got shit on him face.
Yeah. I also don't like most of the Paradox Pokemon design. I mean, I feel like I should go back to my younger self. It was like, I don't really like Mega Evolution because they're kind of taking old Pokemon designs and redoing them in a style I don't like. And I would laugh at him. Be like, you sweet fucking summer child. These will see him so good in a couple years. Don't you worry. Like, and I got out of Bakugan for the same reason. And Bakugan had complicated designs. But then the anime was like, now we're at aliens and they're all mechs. There are mech Bakugan that are fighting with the aliens. I'd be like, this was about kids using monsters from another dimension that got trapped in toys. And yeah, that's complicated too. But you put a hat on top of a hat. Because it's still that. But now there are aliens with mechs from another dimension. So, that's so many things. Man, you know what? I was gonna say, I would like to do like a Pokemon randomizer where I've set it up that it's random Pokemon, but they're like appropriate, you know? So it's like I'm playing like Soul Silver, but the Route 1 bird is not a Pidgey. That is Soul Silver.
Yeah, dude, because you want to fuck them.
He's right. But, the Route 1 bird is like a Starly, you know, like something that should not be available as you go through for the first time. So there are some wild ones, maybe, but there are also like just ones that seem to fit in the area they've spawned in. That would like more than just like Kyogre again. Who could have seen several Kyogres? Who could have seen this coming in the randomizer, where there's always at least one legendary Pokemon in an inappropriate place?
I think that's funny.
I think, I mean, I am legitimately saying right now, I would not mind doing a randomizer, but much like Nuzlocke, I'm not interested in doing them the same way most people do them. I was actually watching a very
girl.
I'm not like other girls. I don't like 50 Kyogres at once. Stealth, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
If you had to have a Pokemon run a train on you, what Pokemon would it be? Are you actually going to answer this?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, why not?
I'm gonna think about it, though. We'll have to come back to it.
Here's the thing, you know.
Like, will people know?
Will people know? It's like a private sex thing. Like it's like when you get a sex toy.
Because my people know answer was Machamp because.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's
when you say real people know, we are on stream and I'm not editing it out. But if you mean like you're in the Pokemon world and people are going to talk about you getting a train run on you by a certain Pokemon, like is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like in that hypothetical world.
Gotcha. Okay, then yes, people will not know in the hypothetical world. They'll only know in the real one, which I guess is somehow better. So.
Yes.
Yes. Also, I should look at some of my references again, because you can see here on a lot of old, like, manual, like, I mean, fuck, even here, you can see, like, they got a square boxing in the art. I don't know why they did that. Yeah, let me just make it a square. Wait, what the fuck is happening? Stealth is getting a train ran on him, and he has to decide what Pokemon is doing it. Keep up, Juice. This is regular stuff. I don't know why you're acting weird.
Why do you have a Bulbasaur?
Because... Okay, so... peeling back the curtain a bit. So the idea is that a lot of times in well, I have not merged these layers. A lot of times in old games, you would have like the original art from the Japanese developers, which is typically very cutesy and stuff, appealing to Japanese sensibilities at the time.
Juice.
It's not right. I mean, I'm not even necessarily sure. Oh, I was thinking of Rhydon. Yeah, not Rhyperior. But then you have, so what I was saying, Stealth, is that for older games, typically there would be like the original Japanese art, which is a bit more cutesier, because of the time and everything. But in contrast, in the 80s, America was much more into like fantasy and what have you, which is why you have like these European Mega Man covers and these different D&D arts and comic arts and what have you.
So this is Fossil Boy, but as Fossil Man.
Yes, exactly. Like, this is not what he's going to look like in the book for most of the time. This is like an 80s artist in America being like, what gets teen boys so horned up about their video games? And the answer, I guess, is a muscly man holding a gun. So
yeah, that sounds about right.
So the cover, like I said to Deja, it's like the cover must be purposefully misleading. So and I do want to still put like some of that kind of influence in the in the interior pages in art and what have you, but for the most part it will be more just like, no, we didn't fucking bother replacing all of that. It's just gonna look like what they drew in as the developers intended.
I have replaced
Your answer.
No.
Okay.
My Clodsire with a Hippowdon, and it is currently causing problems for everything I run against.
Okay, good. I was about to say, for you or for them? Hippowdon is not as cute as Clodsire, but he is from Gen 4, so that bit's better.
Ooh, I can... Oh, man. That's actually rough. Because I got an item that lets me relearn something, and I definitely want to give Hippowdon EQ, but also Slack Off would be amazing.
So what have you been autism dictates that I tell you that I'm legitimately interested in the thing you were talking about earlier and what you were talking about now. Like, what is it that you're doing? You mentioned like Pokemon Rogue something.
Rogue.
Yeah.
It's a browser game.
Oh, really?
It's a Pokemon roguelike.
And are you able to like keep a team, or is it like fully just like get a team at the start?
It saves after every battle.
Heck yeah. That's really cool. See, this is like, I was about to say this. It's like, I'm not trying to be too hard on new Pokemon gens, because like, if you like them, all power to you. It's just for me, any art decisions I don't like are only compounded by Game Freak making bad business decisions. So it's just like, it like aesthetically, fucking like association wise, even worse. So that's why I'm every now and then a bit of sourness leaks out of me, and I'm sorry.
Sour.
Also, the whole we talked about this before. The whole so many Pokemon turning into dudes. Please stop turning my pets into men.
I can't believe you don't love your pets anymore after they become men.
I mean, I do, but just more conflicted feelings, honestly. Stealth, have I ever told you about the Lossalad?
What?
So, you know Fossil Boy?
I do.
He has a brother.
What?
He has several brothers, actually, but most of them are not around. Except for Veloci.
A bitch ass?
No, he's great.
Oh, okay.
He's not going to be so great when we meet him at first, but the things will get better. As things do between...
The Thingo?
I might have told you the Thingo, maybe, yes. I mean, heck, there'll be several Thingos for both of them. But
Big Thingo.
He is also a... I mean, there are now also many other big Thingos as well, but I imagine the original one you're talking about. Yeah. But he's just like the same, except he's based off Velociraptors, and he's got cool fucking legs that let him run faster. So, pretty damn fast even. I don't know how I'll define the upper limits of it because I don't want to say anything. And it's like, well, actually, you said he can only go this fast, and it's like, fucking, stop quoting me while I'm on stream.
No.
Yeah, I might have said that. I also asked Stealth what Pokemon he wants to run a train on him. So, like, fucking... Maybe don't take everything so seriously. Everyone needs to learn.
Noah can live one of these.
Yeah. I feel like, you know, part of my any negative feelings I have about current Pokemon is because, to a degree, it's not necessarily always that new things are bad, but rather I like Pokemon as a world, and if they could ever stop to expand on the world they've already built as opposed to just endless expansion, which is never a good thing, then I'd be happy with that. So
you don't like inflation, but without saying you don't like inflation?
I mean, I just did, so. Listen, Stealth. Fucking Napoleon, the economy, DeviantArt, endless inflation is never good, okay? It's been proven time and time and again. I don't know why you're harassing me on the subject. Hey, is there Napoleon inflation art? Who knows? Juice, do you know this already or no?
Juice, we got a job for you. Open up.
I'm not gonna ask that. Man. Is anything ever really gonna be fucking
Is there any other kind?
Well, no, I was gonna, oh my lord. I mean, yes, there's one where they just get bigger, kind of.
Well, yeah, but who cares about that?
Oh my lord. I was gonna say, is any, it's not even NSFW art, but just like, okay, good, amazing, thanks, Juice. Is any, I guess, bad historical figure internet art, is anything ever gonna be Thomas Jefferson Miku Binder? Because probably not. And I think, you know what, something on top of the fact,
Thomas Jefferson and a Miku Binder?
I mean, they've already drawn that, but no, that's a part you don't understand. Still, that's a part of it. The part of it is, one, it's based off the V digs, so why that wicked nothing like what real Thomas Jefferson looked like. Two is Thomas Jefferson couldn't comprehend Miku, and three is a smaller detail that I like, which is the shirt that they have Thomas Jefferson wearing in that art says, "I met God, she's black," which I think is a sentence that would kill the real Thomas Jefferson 10 times over. So, like...
Hey, that's probably okay.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna pretend like the real guy was so cool we need to uphold his legacy for several reasons. But if anything, that makes it funnier. It makes it funnier that that it makes fun of historical Thomas Jefferson. So, fuck that guy. Literally everything I like that involves Thomas Jefferson in a historical context is in part because he didn't realize what he was doing, which is making other people's lives better, when personally he was all about making other people's lives worse. So... that man wrote all men are created equal, and he had no idea what he sent tumbling into the future, and I adore that. So, history is fun sometimes. I don't like it. The future is wild. You're also fun.
We still haven't watched that.
We need to. No, I want to. Honestly, we need. Honestly, I'd be so down for more watching plans and maybe less game plans, especially because, you know, well, one, we do also, on top of everything else, need to play Helldivers more, and then also watch The Future is Wild. So yeah, but he didn't write that part.
And then I need to show you more of my insanity.
Yeah. What is? Please define that, because you could be talking about several things. So.
I think you know.
No, man.
What is the thing that makes me most unbalanced as a person?
Yeah, I know what it is. Me and your father have been meaning to talk to you.
They've tried.
Oh my lord. I talked yesterday about going home while I was dog sitting to have dinner with my grandpa who was over. And fucking they mentioned me being loud during streaming. I'd be like, I say shit all about you watching football. Don't even begin. Because that is true. Like, several times before or during stream, they've been very loud because sports ball is on. And fucking only one of us gets support because of what we're doing in our private time. And it's not them watching sports ball. I'll say that much. What else was I thinking of? Yeah. Here's the thing. Well, because there's gonna be a good few days where I have the house to myself coming up. Ironically around Mother's Day. But I was gonna say, I was going to spend one of the days where I don't have work and I don't have family around to rent Dune and watch Dune 1 and 2. Because I want to rewatch Dune 1 and before seeing Dune 2. But what we could also do is we could just watch The Future is Wild and Pirates of the Caribbean. So just get your popcorn buckets out. I'd be down for that. Because one is a thing my friend wants to show me, and the other is already my favorite movie of all time. So I'll trade that for Dune. I'll erase every Dune book ever for Pirates of the Caribbean. The Dune fans are gonna get mad at me.
Not good.
They'll be like, that's a piece of high art. They're gonna be like, that's a piece of high art that has influenced sci-fi since its creation. And I'll be like, you're right. But pirates have people who are the epitome of being bisexual. So we're gonna go with pirates.
Pirate.
Pirates.
Spiritomb, I wish you could stop hitting yourself in confusion.
He won't.
Yep. Alright.
Spiritomb when you get him versus Spiritomb when Cynthia has him. No matter what you say about how good some other piece of quote-unquote art is, it'll never have Keira Knightley pulling out a dozen 16th century weapons from every place she could hide them and then putting them on a table because they know she would use them to kill people. That fucking... They don't have her reaching off screen and pulling out a cannon the size of your arm. And just everyone in universe and out of universe is wondering how she was hiding it on her person. That is a cultural defining scene. And I will defend it with my life. What's it thinking of? You know, if I did do another Nuzlocke, it definitely wouldn't be Diamond. It definitely would be Gen 4. Because fucking, I don't know what our ideal... My ideal was to not stream for a while and grind to level 100 so I could beat Cynthia. But even then... Also, I've talked about it before, but... Again, back to new Pokemon games. I like Leon, legitimately, but the fact that, like, he's the unbeatable champion. But you never fight him, except for the time you beat him. And I'm like, no! Let him kick my ass! I want Leon to kick my ass!
I mean, did you fight him in the battle tower?
Yeah. I actually lost to him once legitimately during the champion tournament, as opposed to the battle tower where I've never lost to him, so. Damn, man. So, I mean, like, I kind of... But that's what I'm saying. Narrative-wise, I think it would be better. Like, yes, technically he did legitimately beat me in like the champion match, but hey, that does, even if I don't save after, you know, if I don't reload my save, the game won't count that. They'll be like, no, try again. And furthermore, like what I'm asking for is like, give me Final Fantasy Battle. I can't win. I demand it. Fucking
yeah, not like the other 99% of people are like, I hate fucking scripted battles. You're like, give me one.
I mean, if you're gonna call him unbeatable, do something with it. Use your medium. Cause you wanna know something? I've played a Pokemon game before. Millions of people have. And if I only fight the champion once ever in the main campaign, I have a suspicion I know how it's gonna end, and he won't be unbeatable for very long. So they need to do anything to reinforce. You know what they could do instead? It doesn't have to be a scripted battle, but they should put you in a really hard duos battle where he's helping you out, defeat some villain, whatever. I can't even list a villain in fucking Sword and Shield because other things.
So you want to basically Sephiroth him?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good game. Don't say that like it's a bad thing. That's a wildly good example.
You know how I feel about those games.
No, that you like them?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. But before you were, I think I was just conflating it with before where you were just like, people don't like scripted battles. And we're like, no, please.
Well, no, that's not really scripted because hypothetically, if you are fucking shit, you could still possibly throw that somehow.
Yeah. Lord. And also, Juice mentioned fucking Hop in chat, and we're not even gonna get into that. I have nothing against Hop as singular character. What I do have against it is that he's basically Hao's white cousin, and I know he's darker skinned, but he's from Britain, so.
I was about to say, like, no.
I know, but it's funny. It's funny to think. it's funny to think about how going. Yeah, it'd be funny to think. What was I thinking of? It'd be funny to think about like how introducing someone to Hop and be like, yeah, he's my cousin. I know he's white, and everyone just looks at Hop and they'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? But anyway. But what I am mad about is I like Sun and Moon, and I like Hao, and Hop is a carbon copy of him, and everyone likes him more for some reason. So I will get mad about that part. That has nothing to do with Pokemon Company. That's just the internet. He was the same. They look identical. If I brought those two into CSP right now and I put them on top of each other and lowered the opacity, you wouldn't be able to tell. They would be identical. You'd be looking at the same character. He doesn't. He is wildly incompetent. And then at the end, he's like, maybe I want to study rocks. That's it.
How does his character arc? Oh my god! Don't make fun of his character arc.
Has animation too. I'm not even talking about that, but that gets into the people being mad about Pokemon Company reusing assets, which I couldn't care less about. But fucking
yeah, why invent the wheel?
Yeah, exactly. How has the whole thing like it's the same thing, except one, it doesn't need to be the champion because you're becoming the champion, and his grandpa is the kahuna of the island you come from, and he's trying to make him proud, and that's his story. But does anyone care? No, they just care about Hop not giving a shit about how Pokemon works, commenting on elemental weaknesses every time, even though I'm pretty sure like every Pokemon game ever jams that into your head. So why they have to have him say it when you're on your 11th battle is wild. And then he gives up. And then he dies, which is a weird direction for Sword and Shield to go.
Yeah.
Like I didn't, I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of him, but the fact he dies is wild.
Weirdest Pokemon moments. Number 15. Hal's
Actually,
mysterious death.
you know what
Oh, wait,
is that?
Hal died
See,
before.
see, you did it. You did what I was talking about. I'm not crazy. It's real. What was I thinking of?
They both died. Everyone went to the wrong funeral too. Like Hal's family went to Hop's funeral, and Hop's family went to Hal's funeral.
That would be funny.
Like the Kahuna is just like, how did I end up in Britain?
Leon went with what's her face, the scientist, and she's like, I got lost this time, and that.
Leon getting lost, not a shock.
No, but like he's on a child leash with someone, and they're confused how it happened too. Also, Juice, I'm sorry you're talking to a brick wall right now, because I've always wanted to be an artist, and I will continue that forever. But also, I legitimately just thought of this, and I'm not legitimately mad at Hop or anything. Honestly, if you can relate to him, I'm glad, because it's a Pokemon character you like and relate to. But also,
Go study rocks.
It goes study rocks.
For you.
And also, but it is weird because there's two legendary Pokemon, because console, whatever. And he's one of the heroes. He's like, I'll save it, and then he's like, I don't think I'm good at battling. It's like, didn't you save the world a minute ago? Like, that's Gohan. Like, everyone complains about Gohan, but then Hop did the same thing, because he was like, he's the one who even brings you back to the grotto. He's like, hey, come with me. I think I know how to beat this thing. Then you do, and then he's like, I don't want to battle anymore. And that's fine, but that doesn't necessarily make the arc good. Like, this isn't Pokemonian Shakespeare, okay? I'm sorry to say it.
If they say Shakespearean Pokemon?
Was it? No, I was saying the opposite, where it's like, I mean, I guess I could have said Galarian, but, I was saying it's Shakespeare in that world, so it would be Pokemania. Shakespeare. Pokemon. Listen, on a normal day, like, if you brought me Hop, I'd be like, yeah, he's fine. Like, outside the bit. But if you were like, his story, though, I'd be like,
Wicked, don't care.
It's like, there have been other times, I care, like, I know Stealth doesn't like Sun and Moon either, but
it's just long, man.
Yeah, but Lily
and
helping. But I still think Lily, like, learning to stand up to her wickedly abusive and manipulative mother and saving a cosmic god as a result, and then being like, hey, if I stay here, I'm not really gonna grow, so I'm gonna leave, and then she just leaves forever. Like, that's far more interesting to me. Just Hop is better than How. I mean, I'm never gonna say How is the best part of Sun and Moon, but he is the same as Hop. So. Like, my preference is How, but I recognize they are clones. I'm upsetty. Are you upsetty at what I'm saying? Have I chased everyone away from stream? Or... I'm trying to think of how you would fire a gun in the air. No, I missed Juice. I'm afraid I've actually upset my friend. No. Stealth, go get your dad.
Okay.
Tell him I'm sorry.
I won't come to the door.
For you. No! From now on, Juice is just gonna show up like Ness's dad in Earthbound, where they're just a phone forever. We'll never see them in person again. They'll send us money, though, which is pretty neat. What was I just thinking of with Pokemon? Yeah, getting worked up for the bit. But also... I feel like I was going to say something about story Pokemon, and I completely forgot it. I don't know, I'm just picturing a Hop and a How's head in my head. Like, literally all that's happening... Yes, it was a bit. I don't care. I do not care. Like, if you're like, I think Hop is the best written Pokemon character ever. I'm like, I disagree with that. But also, like, you like it, and I'm not gonna knock you for it. If anything, what I... No one said that. Oh my goodness. Moving on from that.
I think.
What's up?
I think it's very difficult to say that Hop was the best written Pokemon character after
Well,
Scarlet and Violet.
what I was going to say is that, like, the bit of, if anything, the his incorrect opinion was real. Well, Gold, if we want to be completely serious, no jokes for a minute. Stealth, please lock the room. We're sending jokes out of here. They're not going to be allowed in for a minute. Did you lock the door?
I like those.
Nope. He has to go. He has to go just for a minute. He'll be back. Don't worry. The real place that acting came from was just legitimately everyone being like, Hop is so much better, and I'm like, they aren't the same. But like, again, I prefer people just enjoy stuff. So if you're like, I just enjoy Hop in Pokemon Sword and Shield, I'm just like, that is A-okay. Honestly, there's so much else I could get up in a tiff about that game. I've talked about how it's Pokemon Field Trip Simulator a million times. So Stealth, would you like to... I thought it was a good field trip.
Yeah.
Juice, I apologize if you, my real friend, thought that was me getting real angry about video games.
Also, which game is Field Trip?
Sword and Shield.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I mean, that's fair for, like, the base game.
Yes.
I think the DLC was real good.
Well, I mean, honestly, it's a weird place where the game succeeds. Because even though I don't like that the base game is, like, always just do this literally, like, as if, most Pokemon wasn't straightforward enough. They're like, we have set up a rope for you. But then, like,
afterwards... It's weird that that's your criticism for it, because that's exactly how I feel about Sun and Moon, but, like, worse.
But for me, Sun and Moon, it's like you're railroaded, but it's because they're telling you a story. So it's almost like, like a visual novel, if you want to be really reductive about it. But whereas...
Yes, because that's what I want in my Pokemon game.
I know, but still, let me finish. But in Sword and Shield, it's like, I feel like, I know there's a lot of things like Helldivers and what have you, games these days where it's like, it's not a power fantasy. You're not going on a fun adventure. You're being the loser here. I'm like, I'm okay with that. But Pokemon isn't what I don't go to. I go there to have an adventure with my funny animal companions. So when Leon is like, don't worry about the interesting things, I'll handle that. I'm just like, no. I want, like, it's a presentation thing mostly of them dangling an interesting scenario in front of my face, and then a character says, I'll deal with it, and then even proceeds to do it off screen. But now I'm legitimately
go on a fun adventure with my human friend Cinderace.
Exactly. What were we literally... I was like, we're not going to do it again, but then you baited me in. Wait, what was I talking about before that?
Oh.
Oh, no.
I have no help.
I know. I do not... Yes. But no, I am sorry, Juice. I am happy with people. That's what I'm saying, right? If you're like, I am like 10 or I'm 30 and I got into Pokemon the first time with the new games, that's good. I like that. In fact, I like that you look at the new Pokemon and you're almost even nostalgic for it, because you're just like, my friends that I remember from my journey. That's great. I love that for you. I think I've had my journey, and unless Pokemon is just like, oh, look at this adventure that you might like, then maybe I'll just stick to what I have now. Again, if anything, I'm more getting riled up about like the internet's kind of general reaction to different Pokemon stuff than anything else. The internet is a fascinating and contradictory creature, so. I mean, like, I can't. I think it's interesting to talk about the way Pokemon designs their modern games, but I don't care enough to ruin friendships or even hurt anyone's feelings over. So. If, like, okay, so imagine a fucking Persona social segment meter, and it's like,
Persona.
I go up to someone, and we're talking about Pokemon, and they bring up something in modern Pokemon I disagree with, and I see the dialogue option where I can speak that I'm like, I think that's weird, or I don't like that, and it shows me that it will hurt their feelings, I would actively lie about it. Because I'd rather they go carefree and happy about it. Right now I'm talking about it because it's my stream, and if you click on my stream, especially when I've talked about Sword and Shield boggling my mind 7 times already, like, that's one thing, but again, I'm not about to be like, hey you, stop having fun. No. Juice, I hope you're not actually mad.
I would do that.
I know. Stealth. I need you to understand. I was literally about to be like, Juice, I already have one friend that gets way too angry about Pokemon, and that's enough already. Maybe too much. I do. If we upgrade it to 2, I have to reevaluate a couple of my relationships. At least one of those being my relationship to Pokemon. And I don't want to do that. So. I like my current relationship with Pokemon, where occasionally I get baffled at their decisions, and then I go back and I play old games I like. Stealth, have you told me your favorite mainline Pokemon or no?
Our Gold, Soul Silver.
Okay. I mean, to me that feels like the only option, but some people have different tastes. Granted, a lot of what I like about Heart Gold and Soul Silver are not inherent to its remake qualities, but it being a remake allows me to play it easier and with new fun graphics, so that part rocks. My friend for a while, Juice, we can't do this on stream, because my response to that is, Juice, do you just want to stop being my friend? I worry. But I have a feeling that you're gonna be like, no, that's not at all what I mean. But fuck it, we're getting way too deep onto it on stream. It's wild the things if you don't want to be my friend, it's wild the things you've been like, hey Cahill, let's do this. You actively asked to watch several movies with me a minute ago. Stealth, do you understand any of this?
I do, but I'm also not going to psychoanalyze our friend on stream.
Personality test. I should do a. Can we do a stream where we psychoanalyze ourselves? It's actually just BuzzFeed quizzes. What My Little Pony are you? I heard. Okay, this is not news, and it's not relevant to anyone I know, and I shouldn't care about it. I heard that apparently, I knew Weird Al Yankovic had his own pony in My Little Pony. Apparently he marries Pinkie Pie at the end of the series. I didn't know that. That's wild. It's wild that any of the ponies get married at the end of the series. It's wild they're married to one based off a real person. A real man, even. Juice, you're avoiding the questions. But... Lord. I hope... You know what? This blanket statement... I hope anytime anyone hears me get vitriolic on stream, they know 99% of it is more me being confused. It is me being confused over something rather than being angry at it, you know? That's me screaming because I feel like I'm a crazy person or everyone else is a crazy person. And I'm playing up the bit to be entertaining.
Whereas if it's me, I'm actually angry. Run.
Stealth will, yeah, exactly. Stealth will let you know he's angry. Don't you worry. It's coming. You can't. Stealth is 200 yards from you and getting. That's the one. Fanbase. Them could be better is if the fan base is the most weird about. Okay, I had to read that a couple times. Because I struggle telling you this train. I have watched a few episodes of My Little Pony. Once because I was like, let me see what the show's about. And I was like, it's not for me. And then another time because I had to for a class in my school. So, I have an interesting relationship with that show. It's so weird to think that, much like Pokemon, My Little Pony has generations, and the one that has set the internet on fire is technically done now, and they're moving on to the next one. That's insane for a couple reasons. How many generations can you have about ponies? And then also, what do you do after that has happened?
What?
What?
That thing just full health mementoed me.
No?
And I'm trying to wonder why. Figure out why.
What
I'm currently wondering why.
Is Memento a move that is based off of how much health a thing has lost?
Memento is a move that you die, but you drastically lower attack and special attack of the opponent's Pokemon.
Okay. And it just died for no reason? It died for nothing.
Well, I mean, it made my next battle a 3-hit as opposed to probably a 1-shot.
Stealth, have you ever... I mean, I feel like everyone has. I feel like I vaguely remember something like this. Where it's like, you're facing an NPC trainer in a Pokemon game, and they have one Pokemon left, and they use a suicide move on you. Because I think those are fun.
That feels like it's happened before.
I feel like I very clearly... I don't think it might have been like a Graveler using Explosion. But I know there's a comic out there where it's a guy fighting someone, and he's like, I still have all 6 of my Pokemon. If you use Explosion right now, you'll lose. And you'll be like, I don't see the problem with that. And then he loses. He's just like, oh, shucks. Because Pokemon NPCs. I was literally just like, why were we talking about Pokemon so much again? And I was like, alright. Not only Stealth playing it, but also actively have its art in the background as a reference for later. Bulbasaur good. Love Frog.
I like Squirtle the most.
Squirtle. In terms of just the starters, I'd probably choose like Bulbasaur as singular. As like, oh, he's a good boy. But I do like Squirtle overall. Heck, I think War Turtle's great compared to the other 2 awkward teenagers in the group. War Turtle's got a real cool design and a cool name. And then Blastoise just has guns. Can you really beat that? You can't, because you don't have a gun, and he does. Fear me, for I'm become Blastoise, Squirtle of worlds. All my homies hate Charizard. Charizard's whatever. He's no Fatalis, I'll tell you that much.
Y'all excited for Charizard Z?
Lord. I wonder how I'll feel about that after it comes out. I feel like I'll have no feelings on it, because I have no real attachment to Mega Evolution overall, but... like, talking about Pokemon, their decisions, making Charizard Z, which has kind of become a meme at this point, is just, oof. Stealth, let me ask you this. As probably the most opinionated and knowledgeable person about Pokemon that I know.
Well, I don't know about knowledgeable. Opinionated, certainly.
Do you think, with them going back to Kalos and doing Mega Evolution after doing several other gimmicks that they've tossed, do you think it's in any way maybe an attempt to kind of backpedal a bit and be like, you know what, we had it right a bit earlier, let's go back to that? Or do you think they're literally just being like, one time, we'll do it again one time?
I think it's the latter.
The latter. That's fair.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people think that, right? So maybe there's a possibility they're like, yeah, we're gonna, we, I don't know.
Which would not necessarily be good for you because you didn't like Kalos.
Well, no, but I'm talking about mechanics and stuff. I'm not. Can you imagine if after Pokemon Legends Z they release Pokemon X and Y too? Like they're just like more Kalos all the time forever. I feel like
Yeah, we're a France channel now.
Pokemon has moved their company to France. France has bought out Pokemon as a national treasure of Japan. Lord. But yeah. Oh my goodness. You know, I was talking about I brought up Fatalis because I was like good dragon design, good use of a dragon design in creature property, right? But guess what? I was playing more Monster Hunter today, and you know who I fought in Generations? I fought Chameleos. And Chameleos might be my favorite Elder Dragon, if not maybe just one of my favorite monsters, because he is a silly guy. He's a silly. I every time I see him, I'm like, is this really an Elder Dragon? This is the goofiest dude I've ever seen. And fighting him is fun, and I like him. I look at Chameleos from Monster Hunter, and all I feel is joy. Honestly. Good boy. I do like how in Rise, they're actually...
You can go over a level 100.
Oh.
It just keeps going.
Forever. I mean, heck, if you're good enough to keep the run going that long, then. You know, it's funny. So, the other day I saw a video about different Minecraft versions, right? Where it's like, these are the most popular, which I didn't even know was a stat you could have. But where it's like, you got, you know, most modern, the one with the most, like, that is currently Minecraft itself, and it has all the updates. And then you have, like, specific points, where it's just like, people think it peaked here, so they play this the most. This is the best for multiplayer, so people use this. And like that, I listed those two, and those were the other two they listed. And then the last one was one where it was still in beta and basically just had the building and nothing else related to Minecraft. But one reason I brought that up is because when Stealth was talking about this rogue Pokemon game, in before, he mentioned Gyarados being good, and it's made me think before how it's like I like certain Pokemon games and their mechanics and how they look and all that, and I don't think there's typically a competitive scene. At least not nearly as thriving as just regular Pokemon competitive scene for like certain games or generations. But I wish there was, because fucking I'd play competitive Pokemon Gold. I'd bring my Game Boy to a tournament and be like, fuck yeah, I got a Tauros on my team because a Tauros can be a good Pokemon here. Juice does not want to juice command. That, or they really don't like the idea of different leagues for different Pokemon games. But yeah. Heck, you know, at the end of the day, that's one of the things, among many things, that would keep me from, like, downloading Overwatch again. Is that, like so many other stuff, it has been tweaked to heck and back, where it's not even necessarily the same game anymore. In terms of mechanics that are still there from when it originally released. Kingfisher, oh my goodness. We have a raid. And let's shout out to raiders. World of Warcraft. That's another thing. Distraction from Greg. Welcome in, Kingfisher and raiders. I'm Cahill, I'm an artist. Plays games. By Season 4. Kingfisher, we were just talking about like Minecraft and Pokemon in games that have had multiple versions that have really changed the face of the property over the years. I feel like Warcraft fits nicely into that. So also Stealth.
Yes.
We've talked also about Fallout before, and like just speaking about games evolving over time. It's just like Fallout 1 and Fallout 2 are wildly different games than what the series become. Which is just why I'm also just like, I'd like a good standalone title. Which, granted, 4 can definitely be from what you've told me, right? Like, 4 is just like, just play this game. There's not really a reason to play the sequels if you don't want to.
Well, I mean, no. New Vegas is great. I just said that it feels wonky.
Yeah.
So, like, 4 is, like, probably the most user-friendly one.
Yeah. But would you...
just, like, getting in.
But would you say it's like, would you need to play like 3, 2, or 1 to appreciate 4, or no?
Not really.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I meant. And I imagine, and again, like, I'm not, I know a lot of people are like, don't care about the numbers, but 1, my brain does. 2, it's like some games are legitimately, it's just like, yeah, play them in order because you appreciate stuff as the series moves on. So,
look, I'm not saying that you get nothing out of that, because they're definitely like references.
If anything, something I realized when I was looking at Fallout stuff, just as it came across my page, was that like Fallout 1 and Fallout 2 have like much darker tones in art style, which actually makes sense because those games, like as far as I know, most of the series is like linear, so like those games are closer to like the dropping of the bomb, so it kind of makes sense that they're, it's like this the world is nasty. Oh,
Cahill,
what's up?
I need you to see the Meowscarada sprite in this game.
Okay, I'm not gonna be happy about that. What's Quaxly's final form?
Is it like Quaquavel or something like that?
I like, of all the human ones, I like them the most. I don't. Meowscarada looks mischievous, and that's bad for me. Also, where'd you post it? Show me.
I'm DMing it to you.
Okay. Like Meowscarada, like.
Yeah, Greg is right. It's Quetzalcoatl.
Because Skeledirge is that isn't anything about.
It's eyes.
That's none of what I was talking about, and that's more just looks like a wildly just. He is kind of zooted, isn't he? He's out. He's out of his mind right now. He does not know what's going on. Okay then, but yeah. Weed cat. But yeah. Listen, everyone's made the joke that Quaxly's final evolution is a drag queen. And I'm more into that than Meowscarada, who looks very cheeky that it's now a human person. So Meowscarada looks like it's about to commit crimes because it's become bipedal. Whereas, the duck just looks like it's going to the club. I feel like a femme queen. There's no crimes against the Pokemon, Batman. Fucking, if you've ever heard anyone say that legitimately in your life, run. It's like, granted, there's some exceptions to just like picking bad choices in a fictional situation or Pokemon doesn't necessarily make you a bad person. But when just at a base level, they're like, there's no crimes against Pokemon. It's just like, don't associate with them. For so many reasons. For all my friends doing video games, I would still trust them in a kind of life or death situation to a degree. Just because I'm just like, I know they're good people. But fucking someone who's just like, no, it's fine to do whatever to Pokemon, and be like, I will not turn my back on you. You stay in front of me at all times. You sick fuck. I'm nice to fictional digital creatures. Because I like to be nice to everything. Just because I like to be nice. Stealth, do you feel bad about picking bad choices in Baldur's Gate?
No.
No. What if
because the characters that made those choices wouldn't.
What you mean?
Oh, making bad choices? Like,
yeah.
I'm usually RPing a character that'd be like, yeah, fuck yeah, I did that.
I see. But I still think that's okay. But like, see, I'm usually doing it as like, this is the result Cahill would like to see, right? You're being like, I am role playing a character who's kind of an asshole, if not straight up an asshole. So that's still different. That's another layer. But Captain Big, hello. I couldn't handle it. Yeah. I think here's the thing, right? There's layers. I like to inhabit the characters I'm playing as, and thus every choice is deeply personal to me. There's I'm role playing a character I've made up, and thus every choice is a little detached, but I'm still really considering them. And then there's I'm a psychopath who doesn't care about people or feelings, so I just do whatever the fuck I want. I think it's funny. So. Also, none of this applies to The Sims. The Sims will turn everyone into a crazy person. You can't apply this logic to games where it purposefully makes the characters look like tiny ants, of which you are a god. It's begging you to trap them in a pool and watch them pee themselves to death. Lord, you can make Pokemon in The Sims now because there's so many dude Pokemons. Meowscarado is just in a fairy costume. Sniff him. Juice, I was about to be like, that's Jinx's pre-evolution, but that's Smooch 'em, not Sniff 'em, which might be worse. So.
Regional form.
We don't need a regional Jinx. I'll say that right now. For so many reasons, we don't need a regional Jinx.
Regional Jinx is in your house.
I don't want to know what that looks like.
You will.
I don't like that Greg has a 69% chance to love Jinx. Lord in heaven. Yeah, you know, I can't really ride old Pokemon's dick too much when Jinx has been there since the beginning. So.
Day one, baby! Get back in the closet. No one... Like, who unlocked that?
Back in your cave. Back in the cave, we've just put all the Jinxes in to forget about them.
They are permanently banned from the Dave & Buster's.
Honestly. Also, I don't like that Juice was upset they don't love Jinx as much as Greg does. That's bad. Juice, I'd be celebrating. Did you say Juice ban? Why did you ban Jinx? Also, I felt that, Greg. I love me an Elemental trio. That, honestly, that's really the reason Pokemon peaked for me around Gen 3 and 4. It's not just because those were around the ones coming out when I was a kid. It's also because the legendaries there felt like legitimate primal forces of nature. Like very deific, that made them very special, and their more complicated designs help set them apart. So I will always have a soft spot for Kyogre and Groudon. I think they're fucking great. And Arceus is kind of the peak of that. And is it a shame that came literally the generation directly after those first examples I listed? Yes. But what are you gonna do? You can't return to the past
Cry
now.
about it.
There's no kind of code to return to the past now.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Oh, Konyoko will reset it all. Konyoko will, and then you fall. Konyoko. Wow.
I have no idea what the fuck he's talking about, but go along with it. He needs this right now.
Don't you? I will never let you on stream again. I can't fucking believe it. He needs this right now. Oh my lord. That was the worst thing anyone's ever said in my stream. Oh my. Okay. Go along with this. He needs this right now. I lost my shit at that. What I love about that is I've loved, like, I remember watching Kolyoko as a kid, but you are the one who I started saying Return to Past.
Show.
Yeah, it's great. Fucking once we all
gigantic fucking foreheads.
Yes, both. It's like maybe that's one reason why I think the 3D animation has aged okay. Not only is it a good stylistic representation of being in like a digital reality, but also even the 2D animation is a little weird looking. So it's like, what does it matter if the 3D animation is also weird looking? Like, we don't even know if that's a product of the time. That might just be because that's how the animators did it. Who are you to say? Are you a French animator who loves anime? No, you're not.
Who are you to say?
I'd love it if someone in chat was like, actually, I'm the creator of Code Lyoko. And be like, and I'm jobless. I don't have an art job. So I've been singing the praises of your show since the first time I brought it up on stream. Can't believe this. I need to rewatch. I say rewatch as if I've ever properly watched the full thing. Oban Space Racers. Because that was like the first anime I ever watched. I showed it to Stealth, just like a poster of it. He was like, that looks ugly as shit. I'd be like, how dare you? Because even taking nostalgia out of it, I like the art style. So. Oban Space Racers. No, it's Star Racers. Is about racing. In.
What?
Space. I fucking forget what Oban is called. I've probably talked about it before, but I think it was cool. Because I think it had cool art direction. And, like, the main character and humans use, like, you know, a spaceship to race. And, like, that is what a lot of other people use. But then there's, like, one kid who basically has, like, an Appa from Avatar. Which is weird, because I was watching Avatar at the same time. Like, just a big creature who flies. Well, he more, like, floats. And races along these flying races. And then there's a Shadow Man who is very ominous. And he doesn't have anything. He transforms into a giant Shadow Hawk to race. Which seems like a wildly trivial use of his shadow powers, but I guess racing's pretty cool. So.
Yeah.
Hey, Stealth, let me ask you something.
What's that?
You know, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! And shit, and Pokemon?
Yeah.
Where the center of those franchises is, like, this competition that is almost the centerpiece of the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
You ever think about how our world's version of that is soccer?
And just like that, Galar makes sense.
Well, Galar does make sense. That honestly,
being sarcastic. Yes.
Well, no. I was gonna say that's the. Well, I was getting excited because that's the thing I love about Swish. I love their fucking Pokemon battles, which are like soccer games. But like, soccer is like most. Stealth, did you play soccer as a child, even if not as part of a team, just like with friends and shit?
Well,
like,
yeah.
I think everyone's played soccer here. A few of us on like junior teams and everything. And soccer is like one of the few sports in the world where if you keep playing it, you might get to the top of the world. You know, like fucking, it's hard to disagree when someone says like, if you get to, I don't know what the fucking big cup in soccer is called, but
the
like,
World Cup
is well, fucking there you get the. I thought that was fucking hockey for a second. That's the Stanley Cup. But it is the one that most deserves the title. It's like those are countries pitting each other against each other. Cup of the World. Stealth, do you think if I drink V8 out of the Cup of the World, they'll be immortal?
No.
Stealth, have you ever watched the Indiana Jones movies?
No, actually, I haven't.
I remember them being good. I should go back and watch them. I mean, there's the I've talked before about curating media, And even though I remember not minding Crystal Skull, I was a child, but not minding it. It's like, I feel like you can kind of discount those ones, not just because they were made so long after the originals, but also because Harrison Ford was old, and like, I don't know why someone was like, we should make an action movie again, even though our star is in like his 70s, and who let that be a thing? I know it's Indiana Jones, but that was a wildly dumb decision. So, you know. Also CGI, ew. Use practical, dummies. I only brought that up because in like the third one, someone drinks from a cup and they turn into a skeleton.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's a Nazi though. So.
That's fine.
Yeah. Listen, if there's one thing you can count on Indiana Jones for, it's killing a Nazi. That's why people are endeared to him even after so long.
It is a good quality.
Yeah. That's the one thing I like about Captain America. Is he named after a country that I might have issues with? Yeah, sure. Is he very reliable at punching Nazis? Also, yes. So, keep it up, Captain America. Guys, Captain America said trans rights. He told me. Joker also hates Nazis. Yeah, but he is an abusive partner and a psychopathic killer. So we're not gonna give Joker the Joker. Or
wow, you think you know a guy?
You really do. Credit to the Harley Quinn show for having the only version of the Joker that I enjoy, like being a quote-unquote good guy or like redeemed. Because I mean, one, he is still batshit fucking crazy, but two, he's also like he lost his memory, had a normal life, got his memory back, said, I kind of still like the life I had actually, so maybe I keep that while being the Joker baby. So the Jonkler. That's a thing, you know. Nothing. I remember a while ago, I wanted to make one of the jokes. For those of you who don't know, someone posted a screenshot onto the Batman Arkham Games subreddit, and it was a city of things going very bad in Arkham, right? And it had one question above it, which is, why doesn't Batman call the Justice League? Is he stupid? That was it. And then a lot of people really thought that was funny. And I really like it. Just, why doesn't Cahill simply use the best equipment in the game? Is he stupid? Why doesn't Stealth simply make a team of good Pokemon Unite players? Is he stupid?
I like solo queue. I think those would be boring.
You say that, but I legitimately think it'd be kind of cool to see you as like a tactician of a 5-person team. But
yeah, it'd be fun for you.
It'd be fun for
I'm saying I just enjoy solo queue more.
That's fair. Listen, I'm not going to tell you how to enjoy the game. That's been the lesson of the stream. No matter what I sound like, I want you to know you should love what you love. Including people. Hey, this is a controversial opinion. But I'm not even going to say it. It's because even jokingly be like, controversial. It's not. Grow up. Love what you love, folks. We all need more love in the world. Stealth, I hate to tell you this, you're gonna have to start loving your fellow Pokemon Unite players.
No, that's okay.
Stealth, please.
Nah.
We're so close to world peace. You're the only holdout. It's wild that this counts.
I'll do that when they stop back capping it right.
Okay, fucking, I don't. It's so wild that you do realize the easier solution than us coordinating every other Pokemon Unite player is you saying I love them, right? That would be the easiest solution to world peace. and you're firm on this.
Yeah.
Okay, what a fucking okay.
I understand the consequences
This-
and have chosen anyway.
The secretary for the UN, which is now apparently a world power, leaves very angry.
Well,
He sat through some of the most, like, just blood-curdling peace talks and debates you could imagine and help settle them. But still refuses to change his mind about Pokemon Unite.
yeah, no. Good luck, buddy.
Or the like, I talked about that before about like fiction, where it's like world peace or the like means just no conflict ever in a given society, and it's so fucking funny. Just like we're trying to do world peace, we really need Overwatch players to get their shit together. It's why can't believe we have to say that, but we've actually solved the larger problems before this. So.
Eh. I don't think they'll be able to do it either.
The gaming community is a big holdout to world peace, which is
True.
I mean, I feel like the first Occam Razors is people be cool about games, right? But if people are weirdly being stubborn about being jerks about games, and the second is to stop making and confiscate video games, which like maybe it'll make people reconsider, and if not, where do we even go from here? Why are we here? Just to suffer. Hey, Stealth.
Yeah.
I walked in on you playing Fallout 4 the other day, and I was like, you know what? I've seen a good bit of Fallout 4. I want to watch my friend Stealth play it. Does he explain why war has changed? Because all I remember is that he says war has changed.
No.
What's up? Oh, war hasn't changed. Okay, that requires less explanation, doesn't it? I got my games mixed up. Oopsie poopsie. I would love it if a guy was like, war hasn't changed, and I'd be like, explain. How is war the same? What's the same about it? Yeah. Was thinking of. I was also telling Stealth, like, among other reasons, besides just being topical reasons to get into Fallout, like, I only watching him remember the VAT system, and honestly, that's such a better way to do combat for the kind of slightly clunky games Bethesda tends to make. Because every time I see Elder Scrolls combat, I'm just like, I don't know if there's a way to finesse this really, as much as it's either never get hit or just have the big numbers. So, having it be like this pseudo turn-based, stat-reliant thing that is also based on the technology of the world is just like, oh, this is very cool. I'm gonna look up the release for these things, because Fallout 1 release date 1997. Elder Scrolls 1 release date 1994. What was Elder Scrolls 1 like? Oh my lord, it was still first person? That's wild. That kind of makes me want to play that. All anyone ever had to tell me was that Elder Scrolls 1 was a fucking Doom clone. And I was like, you have my attention. Skyrim, just first person. Snooze fest. Elder Scrolls 1, basically Doom. I understand. I'm on board now. I would love to romance a Cacodemon. I don't know if Juice is still here, but I'd love to ask them if they're attracted to any of the monsters in Doom. My favorite thing to do when I think of fiction, a fictional series races of monsters is ask Juice yay or nay.
Smasher Pass. It's one of the reasons I love being their friend. Okay, I think I'm gonna call it for tonight. We finished Fossil Boy, got a good amount done on The Lost Lad. And I mean, I'll be done dog sitting this week, and then I can just be back in my office working on art. Hopefully faster than on stream soon. Pause, because I have to bring up a bunch of windows that you'll see if I don't put it on the pause screen. Who should we raid? Who is even streaming on Twitch at this hour? At this time of night? Localized entirely within my kitchen. I opened Discord to immediately see the picture of Meowscarada. Stealth at me. Ready to jump scare me. I'm not sure. I was about to be like, if he was a parrot. But fucking, like, do I put his decapitated head on my desk? That seems like a bad idea. Wait, Chen is streaming? How long has Chen been streaming? Will he be streaming for a while? Will my friend Chen be streaming for a while? He will be. He's only been streaming for an hour so far. Let's raid Chen. He's streaming Pacific Drive. I was actually curious about that the first time I saw it. But what did I just say about games money? We've run out of the budget. So let's experience through Chen. I love living vicariously through a furry. It's one of the hobbies I often have. And you might say, isn't that kind of ironic? Because like furries dress up as other like people beings to express themselves, and you're living vicariously through them. And I'd be like, yeah, I know. I also like the kind of like Russian doll nature of my relationship with this. Don't judge me. You get your entertainment by watching me. I get my entertainment by doing weirder things. Anyway, I appreciate y'all coming out tonight. I'll see you next week for Bloodborne and another game. I'm still kind of deciding what it is. It's probably Subnautica. We might just be starting Subnautica finally. So, I'll see you then. Bye.